Good afternoon. Welcome to the Everton Daily Live. The Friedkin Takeover of Everton Football Club is off. That has been confirmed today. It's a bit of news we received a couple of days ago that it looked like it was heading that way. Obviously, we've had the confirmation today. Joined by John, obviously in the studio, Peds over there as well. It isn't great news for Everton Football Club. This is the statement that the club has released this morning. Following a period of exclusivity, discussions between Blue Heaven Holdings and the Friedkin Group over a potential sale of a majority stake in Everton have ended, and the Friedkin Group will not be progressing with the purchase of the club. Both Blue Heaven Holdings and the Friedkin Group entered into discussions in good faith to explore whether a sale could be agreed. Those discussions have concluded. The parties agree it's in both their interests for Everton to explore alternative options. The Friedkin Group will remain a lender to the club and is proud to have played a key role in enabling the new stadium to be built, which will help ensure a bright future for both Everton and the City of Liverpool. Blue Heaven Holdings maintains a positive relationship with the Friedkin Group and would like to thank them for the time and effort they've put into this process. When there is further news to share, it will be provided via the club's official communications channel. John, what seemed to be a very impulsive buy by the Friedkin Group appears to be a very impulsive rejection of taking over, or however you want to dress it up. What's your initial thoughts on it?
That's a quite interesting slant on it, isn't it? You know, because the legend that is how they acquired Roma, which was the family lived in Rome for the summer. I thought, this is nice. What can we do to get involved? Oh, let's buy a football club. So it came from nowhere, almost impulsive. And you, with some of your contacts, we were talking a number of weeks ago, you know, they've sort of in this exclusivity period to buy, but they don't seem to know what they're going to do with it when they get it. Clearly, the friendly game at Goodison Park's just a curveball, so that'll be amusing because that's with Roma, isn't it?
Toffee doesn't turn up.
I almost said with your build-up, right, was it's not happening. I nearly said out loud for now, because I think it's quite possible. What we don't know is, has the exclusivity period just ended, or has this happened before the exclusivity period? We don't know, do we?
No.
But it could be just something as simple as, well. And we've just been doing a BWB thing about if in doubt, don't. Another cliche there is if you want a decision now, it's no. Doesn't mean it'll be different down the track, does it? So it'd be interesting to see what follows on, really. But it's further uncertainty, and we know what uncertainty does to us all. It makes us feel anxious. And the people who had, and I know you weren't necessarily one of them, the people who are really excited about these potentially being our owners are now going to be really fed up that they're not. And it's that roller coaster we just don't need. We want, a period of stability, which actually, from a financial point of view, the club would probably describe itself currently as stable. But this, that feel-good factor and that changing of perception has just hit the blocks, the brakes quite hard, hasn't it? Simply because of this announcement.
Yeah, I mean, just for clarification, my reservations with these, when there was a lot of other groups in it,
had the plan.
These weren't my fit. I want someone at Everton is the most important thing to them. Now, I've no doubt once they got in, without being disrespectful to Roma, I think Everton would have become that with the fan base, with the stadium and all that. But I want someone that wants Everton to be the very best it can be, and have a plan and listen, all that might have come, of course it might have done, but I just wasn't like dancing in the street. They were the ones where I was like, not sure about this, because they've already got a big club in Italy, but obviously the more you're there, you go, no, well, they look really good as an organisation, well, whatever, but it's not happened. I'm assured, I've seen a couple of things here, administration, here we come and all that.
That's not going to happen.
That is not happening. Being assured it's business as usual for Everton Football Club. Won't affect the transfer market in any way. The plans are there, everything's been set aside, budgets, obviously player trading will continue. Kevin Thelwell,
we'll see that over the weekend.
We'll see, Onana should go to Villa, which will then free up money for Everton to go and do the couple 2 or 3 deals they've got in the pipeline right now. And obviously the next bit of that will possibly will be dependent on Dominic Calvert-Lewin. If he goes, there'll be another few players in because of the way you can spread the money. That is going on as usual.
There's more Beto stuff, isn't it? He's been told he can go.
Beto, whether that's right or wrong, if he's sold, then Everton will go. Of course they will. So the team building, squad building is continuing. Nothing has changed there. There is no cash crisis at Everton. So people will put stuff out.
There isn't.
And they'll love it. And they'll
crisis.
feed
What
off
crisis?
It. But right now, it's business as usual. Money is being put in to finish the stadium. The club have referenced that in their statements today.
Friedkin are proud that they've made it happen.
I'm not
dressing
this up, by the way.
But that confirms they've handed money over. That
of course.
It, so.
And I'm not dressing this up as this is a positive, by the way. This is very much not a positive.
Uncertainty being introduced is not good.
We wanted this done. Another reason why I'm not like that. I'm very, very disappointed it's happened because I was in then. We were in, weren't we? But one thing that might keep me from really going is that there was so much interest before Farhad Moshiri went with the Friedkin.
And he picked these guys, yeah.
So therefore, I would like to think, and I imagine a few of these will now go. We were here before, we're back here, and that may well happen.
We talked about this, Baz, before, right? Because particularly on the BWB stuff, because this exclusivity period does my head in. It really does, because nothing happens with any of the other potential bidders. Yeah. Now, I understand bidders aren't going to be all putting their best foot forward because they think it could be a waste of time. But I think when you say you're disappointed, what disappoints me is we're back to a place called Stars.
Yeah, no, that's the thing that I'm disappointed
and that's a bit, So Farhad, find a way to have two going down the track at the same time.
Yeah, there's a thing.
It'll keep them both honest, if nothing else.
It's paid the 200 million to ACAP, Farhad, and get rid of it. And then you'll probably get a sale. Ped, I want to bring you in, obviously. We had this discussion a couple of days ago.
We did. We had a big round table on it.
You were the bad news a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
But even though you sort of saw this coming, the hope was there that they might just be able to iron it out. But having the confirmation this morning, I mean, how are you? Like, what's your initial
think
thought?
these two are being remarkably calm and too fair on the football club. I think this is
hang on.
No,
is it the football club or is it the owner?
No, it's Farhad. He is the football club.
No, he's not.
It's Farhad Moshiri.
Woo, nearly swore then.
Farhad Moshiri.
Yeah.
And he's caused this with that ridiculous going after 777, which was a non-starter from the very beginning. And he let this happen. And I'm afraid the football club, and I don't care what line they've been spinning this morning to journalists or to anyone on the phone, this is their fault. They've allowed this to happen. And I'm sorry, this isn't just there. We'll see what the next... This is so... Reading between what the journalists have said, with it being woven into if it's true, it's woven into a legal situation, then this could take a very long time.
We've just talked about this on BWB,
that's devastating as far as I'm not going to dress it up. I'm not going to make anyone feel better. I don't know what the outcome is. I'm devastated by this because it's so woven into a court case that how do we know how long this is going to go on for? We really don't, because we don't have control over court cases, and this is down to Moshiri. It's as simple as that. I know people at the football club have to get on with a normal job and get on, and they'll be on the phone and they'll be spouting what they're told to say. But this is nonsense. This is terrible. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This is terrible.
I'm not asking you to sugarcoat it.
I know, but it is terrible though, because whether you liked Friedkin or not, he just sounded like a safe pair of hands to take us forward. And now we're stuck with another loan with 14%, and we've been. No, I'm not trying to create a crisis or create a bad mood or anything. I'm just telling it as it is. This for me is really bad. And I think a lot of fans will feel like me right now. I feel lost with the situation now. I felt like this was our way out, and now because of what they're saying about a court case, I don't know what the way out is. All right,
so that's fine. I'm not going to disagree with most of what you said there, but you've got to be careful. I know whether John will shoot me down here or you can shoot me back down. It's fine.
Never ever shoot you down, Baz.
But we've got to be careful when journalists who lie every day, as we know they do, because we've heard it all summer about Jared Brandwaite, are getting different things, and no one's going to take this on. Another consortium might come in and go, we'll pay a cap off, no problem.
But it's stuck within a legal thing, isn't it? I can't imagine anyone's going to pay 200 million to it when they'll be looking at the situation going, well, if this court case goes our way, 777 mightn't even exist.
No, John. Well, John, to be fair, that's exactly what John said. You're right. You're absolutely right.
And that's going to take time.
We've just done that on
but I don't know whether
if it's in a legal case, that's going to take time, and that's the problem. This is so interwoven into something that is legally we have no control over. That's my
negotiated way around.
I'm not disagreeing with that.
That's my real worry.
There's a negotiated way around that.
Go on,
right? Deals are all about how you shape them. Right? People who close deals is because they can shape a deal that satisfies both parties sufficiently to get the deal over the line. If we look at the 777A cap money, we've done this to death. There's more detail on the other show we did, but let's cover it now, right? So if we think there's a couple £100 million there, that's going to get some treatment applied to it, isn't it? On one end, you've got the guys who hold the notes about it, say A cap, and 777 themselves, who say Everton owes 200 million.
Yeah.
On the other hand, we just use Ped because he's there.
Yeah.
General consensus might be they'll get some money, but they ain't going to get 200 million. Because the expectation is they could go out of business, it could disappear with them. The equivalent of an administrator may take less pennies in the pound, all those sorts of things. Both parties, be it Friedkin or Mathew, will have a view, won't they, of where it is on that spectrum of 200 million to zero. Let's just, for this illustration, because none of us know, let's assume they've got a different view of the risk that brings.
Yeah.
Farhad thinks it's zero, and they think it's 100 or whatever. Yeah. So that's the first layer of consensus they need to drive to. What is it? What do we think is the size of the risk? If the risk results in upside, i.e. it's less than 200 million, so there's a beneficiary. John Blaine was saying the beneficiary of that is the football club. It had a debt of 200, it only had to pay 100 of it. Okay? Now, but if that would make the football club worth more money.
Yeah.
Right?
That's less,
Yeah. So which shareholder is the beneficiary of that windfall? The new one, Friedkin, or the old one, Mashiri, right? So I think we will hear noise from people, get smidgens of insight, also with a good dose of opinion that could easily conclude with Farhad wanted too much money for his shares. Because he wants all the upside. Friedkin want all the upside, or maybe not, but you know what I mean. So we're damned if we do and we're damned if we don't. We just don't know, right? Which is why the biggest thing, we talked about it on BWB, around uncertainty, we're in an uncertain situation. I think Ped's just expressed it really well and passionately. It's doing my head in because I don't know what's going to happen next, but more importantly, how long it'll take. So if there's a variable there and it's all around these legal cases around 777A cap, administration, all those sorts of things, how can you neutralise that to allow a potential buyer to buy? Right? Well, one is you find somebody who can take that debt, repackage it for you, and give it back to you, because I think I talked to Baz over there, I don't think it's a financial risk per se. It's almost like a reputational risk. Because part of the thing that's going to go on in and around these court cases is, where the hell did 777 get the money from in the first place? How legit is that money? Do you want to be paying back a debt to an entity who may have got the money they lent to you in the first place fraudulently or whatever?
Because he's American, and if it's American money.
That's the point, right? So the issue there is Americans may be more sensitive to it. This brand, you just said, notwithstanding you didn't want them, you thought the culture of it, the way they project themselves is all very good, isn't it? It's all positive.
Right, yeah.
They've got high brand values. Even a little teeny weeny little speck of dust on their reputation isn't worth it. If it's not a true passion play, I really must own that football club. I really am committed. It's more of a, and we're being rude perhaps, but it'll do, won't it? It's an impulsive purchase, right? Yeah. And an impulsive purchase, you can change your mind just before you hand the money over, can't you? You know what? Actually, it's not worth it. Oh, no, you're all right. That said, and again, you guys, perhaps we didn't talk for long on BWB, did we? But we covered a fair amount of this. Yeah. When you're negotiating deals, sometimes you want to put the other guy under pressure, right? You know, we're trying to do it with Nonto, aren't we? We're trying to say to Leeds, if you don't hurry up and make your mind up, you might not get him at all, you know, the price that you want. This could be just as something to stimulate behaviour from ACAP 777. It could be that Farhad and bloody Friedkin are together trying to do that. Or it could be Friedkin putting pressure on Mashiri to lower his demands. Or it could be just genuinely, they can't reach to a conclusion, they're going to go their separate ways.
Let me just...
You've just sent us a picture in the
Let me just
WhatsApp
add
group,
this to it. So let me just add this
which
to it.
is
right?
really amusing.
So on the 14th of June 2020,
Roma.
the deal with Roma and the Friedkin Group collapsed. On August the 17th, the deal was completed.
Wow.
So the Friedkin Group did walk away from Roma. They appointed Goldman and Sachs to find a buyer after it collapsed. And 2 months later, Friedkin did buy them.
At a better price, no doubt.
Maybe, yeah. So
it could all be negotiating.
It could all be
tactics.
negotiation. It could all be a negotiation. They clearly want that money, that 777 money, to come down. That's what
Absolutely.
we've been hearing for the last week.
And
Is
that's
that
what
it is?
yeah.
It is
Absolutely.
about. It is about getting that debt down. But because of this legal case, it doesn't seem like they can come to that conclusion. But you still have to point the finger at the man who let the wolves in the door.
Oh, without it.
No, and I'm just
100%
personally.
But what?
It's been an unmitigated disaster for Everton Football Club. Absolutely. We've got a ground, brilliant, but at what cost? I mean, you look at it, it's a shambles. It's been a shambles since he took over, and it's got worse and worse.
As a deal shaping exercise, and this is where it'd be interesting to see what flows from this. You know, when I used to do stuff, you end up with two parties like we are now, at loggerheads, we'll call it, make it emotional, right? And if it is paid around the 200 million, and if it is simply, you know, the numbers work for Friedkin of that 100 million, it doesn't work if it's 200 million, and it doesn't work for Farhad, blah, 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 right? But the grand scheme of things, and this is where the walkaway strop tactic works, it pulls the chain of someone who's just trying to squeeze the last pips, you know, squeezing the last bit out of something, you know, is you can contract for the unknown, because what you can do is Farhad can, or the seller can say, for the deal, we will assume that the value of that debt is this. It doesn't matter what it is, it's just not 200 million. And he will warrant to Friedkin that if it doesn't crystallise the way we think, he covers it.
He should.
In return, he can have them warrant to him that if it does come down, he shares some of the benefit, right? And I've done a good few deals where it's like that. You find a mechanic in your contract, a mechanism, to cover the issues suitably for both sides from different perspectives on something which at the moment you want to sound the contract as an unknown. So it's never over until the fat lady sings. There's always that. Fat blokes as well, you know. But most of the really good singers who are fat probably are blokes, aren't they? Big tenors, whatever. But you can find a way around if both sides are committed to doing that. In other words, they want the deal to happen. And if they do want the deal to happen, and we have doubts, and you're expressing them about Friedkin Group, are they really that mega committed, or are they just saying this is all a bit messy?
No, but this is.
But what it might mean is somebody else might be prepared to do it.
No, but you. I mean, we did. This was one of the things we said before. It could be a negotiating thing. Of course, it could. If you're brave enough to go, it's off.
Oh, you have to play win-lose.
You've got to be, and they're playing it. And he hasn't become a billionaire by being you know. Obviously, and Ped has just rightly read. And was something I was going to get to before. Obviously, Ped had sorted it anyway. They've done this before.
Oh,
they've got previous
thing, yeah.
They've got previous. So, you know, the whole. I've seen people, you know, saying, well, one person, you know, get real, Baz. Who's gonna buy us now if these won't? Well, that's, to me, I'm sorry, with respect, that's nonsense.
Yeah.
Utter nonsense, because it's how desperate you want the club. Now, Ped's right. If the money's woven and someone's going, well, I want certainty around this money before I buy it, this could drag on. But someone could come in and do exactly what you do. My personal belief is that Farhad Mashiri should take, you know, should catch a cold on this one, as you would say, and cover the two. Like you just said,
cover the gap.
If this it's 200 million, right? But we might not have to pay it. But I'll cover that. If that comes, I will cover that to get this deal done. If it's 100 million, whatever, we're both quids in. So with certainty what is happening. Now, they might say, we don't want anything to do with that 200 million, right? We're not having anything to do with it. I don't know. I don't know the legal side of that. You're better versed in this than I am, but he's the person who's put us in this with even if you take all the other stuff and you say, like, RMF, the club needs it and it's used it forever. Metro Bank, they got some money for that, they needed it. MSP, we needed that little kicker, and now it's Friedkin Group. But going in with 777, he picked them. And this has spiralled out of control. He could have put an end to this in the January, and it was nowhere near that level of money or whatever. And he didn't.
The number got bigger and bigger.
It got bigger and bigger and bigger, and that's 100% on Farhad Moshiri, not the football club. I didn't say carry on letting 777 do it. Keep loading the club. You certainly didn't. Ped didn't. None of the fans did. People, I'm sure, at the football club didn't. It was him and him alone. And therefore, for me, he should cover the cost of it. It might be no cost, mightn't it? It could get, or it could, like you said, it could be penny in the pound or whatever it is, or whatever people do with one of those things. It could be that, but it shouldn't be a deal breaker because, well, you'd hope it would.
Well, we talked about it before. I mean, this isn't something that you find out through due diligence, is it?
No. Well,
you didn't need exclusivity to understand that there's an issue here with 777, right? And you might have to go inside and ask the club what's the absolute number, because we all think it's on around 200. So we don't know what we don't know, but it just seems a bit odd. So I know it. I said it to citizen of Suburbia this morning. On a WhatsApp. Let's wait and see. Stock response. Well, it is because we don't know. We can guess. If we were written journalists, like, with an editor who said, I need 1,000 words and I need it now, you'd have to write something, and some will go down the route of scaremongering, which is your client journalism approach or your bias vote or whatever you want to call it, and others will be a bit more balanced, and others who are client journalists are totally on the Everton side will spin it as positively as possible, and you get all things are possible sort of thing. But all we can do, passage of time stuff, and if it gets to you, that uncertainty, it's not going to be comfortable. If you can set it aside, if an Arna goes out the door and one or two come in early next week, the ones we think are dependent on that from a cash point of view, and we see that BAU, at least from a sporting side, is going as it should. We know it's around the time of year when the Sky money turns up. I would imagine we've got more cash with player sales and with the Sky money and so on coming around. We know that the monies that were added to the MSP stuff from Friedkin were to finish the stadium. So that, that's on the horizon. That's going to stop being a drag on the business and so on and so forth. I just think the tides have just been, that promised land's over there and we're in the boats. The tide's churned a bit, hasn't it?
It's just timing, though, isn't it, John, more than anything?
The timing today is awful.
Because for most fans, this summer has been quite chilled out for most of us. Things felt like they were starting to turn.
Yeah, absolutely.
Me and Baz were talking about this yesterday. And it's not the fear of not being able to find another buyer. It's the time again.
We
have to go
with
through
you, mate.
again.
Yeah.
It's the fact that we're going into the last year of Goodison Park and it's supposed to be a celebration, and you've got this hanging over our heads. It's supposed to be that we're going into a new stadium the season after, and that's supposed to be a celebration. It's the deals attached to that as well. Yeah. If Friedkin walks away, they walk away, and who knows, they might have had a nice deal lined up with Toyota that cost a fortune. Then suddenly you're downgrading to something else, then, aren't you? And it's just all these little things. It's like, I think, this week we've seen a kit deal getting done and people are talking about the prices, and then people go, well, yeah, but look at the deal we got. And yet if you weren't in a situation where you had to accept that deal, the kit prices might be a bit more reasonable. Do you know what I mean? We've got steak on the front of our shirt that nobody likes, but everyone understands the price. It's all these little things. It grates on you after a while. And when someone goes, yeah, lads, is the tunnel to Toontown, and then they pull it, then you hit the brick wall, you're just like, you've got to do that all again. This is what it felt like for 3 years, and it is exhausting.
I've lived those 3 years, right?
I know, and I got stopped by a guy in London, and we were talking about Everton, and he was like, this night stadium's nearly done, isn't it? You've got new owners, haven't you? And I was like, maybe. But it's like when people talk like that, you feel like, oh, it's going to be good, and then the wool gets pulled again, and you just think it's Everton again.
But if we try and overlay all that fabulous passion with objectivity, we've no idea whether Friedkin would have been good for us or not.
No, we don't.
But hang on. We have concluded it's better than what it could have been. It's better than the incumbent. That's where we've come from, isn't it? You yourself, you've said it in this today, not top of your list, but you'd have agreed they're better than 777 and better than the incumbent.
No. The reason why I said when the others were there, I wasn't jumping for joy with these is simply because they own Roma. Yeah. And it just felt a bit, and I heard what Marino had said about him, and you can take that with a pinch of salt.
Yeah.
But I just thought, like, are we like really top? Like, was he desperate to get us? And he never said anything. John Texter, I believe he's having a few issues in the States at the minute. Yeah. He was very like, I want Everton and you can make them great. Okay, I want to hear that. That's what I want. Because now the Friedkin group might have been going, that's what we want to do, but it's not saying it. I weren't saying he was terrible. I was just saying that they are we like really their number one priority, but they're very good. There was nothing about them. Everything looked professional, and therefore you get excited by that. And Ped's right. It's not even... If this was the first takeover thing, so we went back to September and he'd signed it, and this was mid-October, we'd all be like, oh, for fuck's sake, who's coming in now? But we would have still been like, well, there was a lot of other people, but all up. But that 777, this has been going on for 18 months.
Since he had that interview.
But it's been a year. Because don't forget, MSP were supposed to take us over.
First, yeah.
And that collapsed.
A minority, it wasn't a takeover.
No, but they were coming in.
They were coming in.
And then all of a sudden, that collapsed.
Yeah.
And then
they come back down, didn't they, as well?
Well, he did. But 777, who Farhad Moshiri had decided weren't better than MSP, all of a sudden were taking the club over. So we have been, like Ped said, you're being it. You never told me you go up and down the country, so I'm preaching to the converter there. I'm just saying, but that is. I do feel like that. I feel like Ped. No, but what I'm trying to do, hosting this, I'm trying to go, right, is there another side to it?
Yeah.
But I am feeling, here we go again.
I'm frustrated.
I'd love it tonight to someone else, Andy Bell and George Darling and MSD, to go, we're in the driving seat now, we're at the table. And they probably are still at the table. And we're entering into this period and we know everything, blah, 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 blah. Then you'd go, right, okay.
I don't want to hear entering into another period at all.
No. The problem with that is, though, sorry, John. The problem with that is, for me, is that these are like little side characters. These had the money. These have the money in spades.
No.
And it might not be money for us, but it's money.
No.
And that's where you look.
And it's perception.
And that's where you look at owners of like Villa and obviously Newcastle to more than that. They've really got the money, and it sits there, and might be Villa's money, it might be Newcastle's money.
No, of course.
But it's always
perception.
There, and it's that thing of adding the naming rights to the stadium and a new sponsor on you, and that's where I thought these were perfect.
They might still be, Pet.
No, I know, but I'm just saying I don't need. I don't need the rich oil fellas from the. I'm not asked about all that stuff.
And it doesn't. And when I say that,
I'm
saying it for that.
I know what you're saying.
I'm saying it so that
to me,
it's a
in many ways, I think football's dead. In many ways,
I
think football's dead in many ways. I think I've just watched the Euros that I didn't even watch the final, and that's not because England were playing in it. Because by the time the final was there, I wasn't interested. Honestly, football to me is going in the wrong direction because there's too much of it. There's too many games. UEFA want their piece of the pie. FIFA want their piece of the pie. Premier League want their piece of the pie. The American owners all want a piece of the pie. 39th game and all this kind of thing. They're all dragging us left, right and centre. Man City are running away with it. PSR, all these rules. And to me, all I just wanted was a nice little quiet life with our new stadium where Everton are back to challenging for things without there being this.
Even like when I say all that, even a Q80 family coming in with billions, it actually doesn't. It doesn't help because we're still going to have to do stuff.
Yeah, of course.
We're still going to have to do stuff.
He's talking about, and you used the word, the perception it brings.
That's it. I mean, I spoke to me and Dobbo this morning. We're having a chat about it. Me and Josh saying.
Which Dobbo? Ginger Dobbo or?
Ginger Dobbo.
Sorry, yeah.
And Dobby.
Shorts today.
Right. He's all right, though. Right, but we were having a chat and we were like, you know what? We're not even talking about, like, Everton winning the league. We just want some players who we can get excited by and just start feeling like we're improving for now and going into it. It's not even we're being like ridiculous. But this thing, one thing that I have to keep stressing is everything you said is correct. But right now, let's just stay focused in the picture right now. There's no fire sale. Business as usual. Everton will continue to buy players, and Jarrett Branthwaite won't be sold cheaply just because Mark Goldbridge has gone on now saying
Fire sale!
Everton have to sell now.
To me, they're distractions.
Has he?
Yeah.
To me, they're just distractions. They're the noise. To me, that's the noise on the outside.
Yeah.
To me, that's the noise that journalists will use. That's what Talk Sport, and if Sky Sports could actually run this morning, which you can't.
Oh, they go
they on the Microsoft.
Microsoft.
Yeah. All the Apple people are going, we're all right.
The NHS was down. I walked into that disaster this morning.
Yeah.
They're
So
all,
a lot of airports.
that's the noise for them. That's the noise for them. That's the noise for all those people. To us, that's fine. We'll be all right with all that, but it doesn't propel our football club forward.
No, of course
and that's all we all want, isn't it? That's all we want.
What propels our football club forward is winning football matches.
Yeah, and you win football matches by buying players,
which we're going to do.
I know, but we're not though, John. We're going to buy players that are D-grade players.
No.
I'm not
We're
making.
buying the players we can afford, right?
Yeah.
So hang on a second. So if you, I'll just paraphrase it as you, and you probably say no, it's not that bad, right? So you sit there for the last month or two, say, thinking Friedkin Group, they've got real money, that would change perceptions.
Not perceptions. It will change the actual football club.
Hang on a second.
No, I'm agreeing with you, but I'm just saying.
Yeah. Well, let me finish the story, right? But yeah, so it changes perceptions. Part of what changes perceptions is allows people to feel less stressed in decision making. And you anticipated that would turn into things like a naming rights partner, which would bring money as well. The fact that we will be shopping in a better shop, getting better players, and whatever. So when it stops, when it goes bang, Friday morning, Everton fans are too happy, let's do something to sort that out. You go, oh my goodness, we're not getting taken over, more uncertainty, the naming right thing that they might have been able to do isn't going to happen, we won't get that money, we're not going to upgrade where we're buying our players from, blah, 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 blah. So all that's true.
Yeah.
But all that was just in your head as a perception of
what but it wasn't in my head, was it, John?
Well, it's not come from anyone at the club, and it's not come from the...
It wouldn't come from anyone.
No,
there's no one at the... John, this is the other thing. We haven't even got a board. We haven't got a CEO.
You're a full-on negative now.
No, I'm not full-on negative. I'm full-on honest. I'm full-on, this is the truth, not club spin, not nonsense.
No.
This is what people are talking about in the comments. This is how Evertonians feel today.
I get it.
We feel like we've been kicked again. And the club don't help themselves because this. I've said this.
It's a pendulum, though.
No, I know, but the pendulum never seems to swing in our way. This is what I'm talking about. Leave it in the middle, and it's self-inflicted, John. We've got a football club that won't even appoint a new board because we're waiting for new owners. No, get a new board in place and get a CEO. I said this 6 weeks ago. What are we doing that thing again where things might just change around? You've just said the word, John. Perception. Perception is having a board that has got 6 people on that are going, no, we this thing where Mashiri goes and the statement comes out and he says, and Farhad Mashiri will continue to run the club. He's not running the club. He's got a temporary CEO who's not a CEO. Done a great job, Colin Chong, and everything he's done. He's not a CEO. You know that more than me. And we've got a 3-man board that consists of Mashiri
and his man
and his mate.
Yeah,
this is not how you run a football.
No, it's not.
It's.
Listen,
with a Titanic, and we've got buckets to take the water out. We've got to get our side of the ship sorted first, please, and stop waiting for people to come in and bail us out.
That's a great punchline. Sorry, finishing off of that, it really is, because when you were doing your passion play before, and I didn't interrupt, thankfully, because it's really good, right? The downside of this is the behaviour, which is we won't make that decision because we want the new owner to make it, is being kicked down the road. Yeah. And people, Thelwell may be able to get on with his job because budget has been set. But if Richard Kenyon, bless him, is sitting there on a commercial deal which needs board sign-off,
of course, yeah,
you think it's the new owner who wants to do the sign-off, not the old one. Does that mean eventually, and for all we know, that's a naming rights partner for the stadium, and they go, you know what, we're fed up waiting.
we'll walk away.
If you can't make bloody decisions, you're not right for us anyway. You know what I mean?
Definitely, yeah.
And Richard thinks, me and my guys have spent 9 months getting this thing to the table. It sat on the table for a month and now they've walked off. So you're right. I totally and utterly 101%, even though that's not possible, right? But 101% agree with you. You cannot wait for tomorrow. We say quite often on this channel, and maybe it's my soundbite, it can be really horrible, so I apologise in advance, but we give the perception of being a business that we'd rather do tomorrow what we should have done yesterday.
Yeah.
And tomorrow just happened. But it's today now.
Yeah.
And we still don't know what we would do tomorrow. And guess what? Yesterday's never coming back.
No.
It's gone.
It's done, yeah.
Right? And that's a really difficult thing because whilst I'm full of bullshit cliches, you know, it's never too late to do the right thing, but it does have an impact. If we suddenly go, you know what, enough, let's get some proper board members who can help Colin and the other guys, right? People with experience, people with contacts, people who don't panic when the shit hits the fan, all of the above, which you just need, you know, we need bodies in the squad, don't we? The manager needs extra players, right? They might not be the players he would want if we had more money, but he knows he has to have them. The same applies in every role in the club.
Yeah.
If there's a vacancy that we need, chief engagement officer, for example, right? Then you appoint it. And if it turns out the new owner doesn't like the appointee, sad for the person because they're going to get the bullet, aren't they? But you don't hope that tomorrow never comes. We all know that.
Kieran Maguire
Tomorrow never comes.
from Simon says it's a setback, but Everton is still an attractive proposition.
Of course we are.
And the right price can be agreed for the club. Listen, for all we know,
Calm words and very sensible.
and I don't know.
Absolutely right.
I don't know, right? But it could be a good negotiating tactic.
Could be all of the above.
They might look and go, we're not prepared. Like Ped said, we're not prepared to pay 200 million
if that's
to
what
them.
it is, yeah.
If it's 200, that's just a
yeah.
number,
Use
right?
that as the hook.
We're
absolutely.
not prepared to pay 200 million to them, but we will pay 100 million.
So,
and that's
so far hard. Where's the other 100 coming from?
So it's either 100 million. They either take a haircut and don't for that, or Farhad Moshiri, you bridge the gap. If this isn't happening, we ain't happening, and we're walking away. And they've gone. Now Moshiri, I don't know.
No, that's right.
I
No,
don't know.
that's 100% right.
No,
It isn't the end of the world.
No, but it does feel a bit like it.
No. But what it is it's a gaping wound that needs sorting out
no, you're
first.
right,
This is what my point is that this needs sorting out at our end and the football club. John, you just said it there. There's people doing deals. We have no idea if those people should be even in jobs at Everton Football Club. Now, I'm not saying anyone should get sacked, but that's the point, isn't it? Is that it's Everton just go on day to day, and no one seems to take any responsibility for what goes on. We're doing it's a
accountability.
It's a we're all right, Jack thing. We're sound. We're all right. Don't worry about. It's not. You know, whereas there's clearly massive faults at that football club. And the answer can't be, let's wait till someone takes us over.
No, it's not.
Someone take action for God's sake.
The problem is,
it's not.
What I would say, and John will be able to tell me
right, Pet.
better than this, is that, like, but who, like, the people who are doing the job, it's not their responsibility. They're just doing the job.
No, of course it's not.
It's Farhad, because
course
there's no
it is.
board.
But
There's no board.
that's what I'm saying.
He can't have him and his mate as a board and going, there's an interim CEO on there as well, by the way. Because who's going to make them decisions? It's not up to, there's people like Richard Kenyon. It's not up to Richard Kenyon.
No, it's not, absolutely.
If he's got no okay from above, how can Richard Kenyon, I'm just using Richard because I know that he's quite high up, or whoever.
He's probably the most senior person who's not on the board.
Right, so
he has to go to the board.
Richard can't go, well, I'm going to sign
I'll just sign
this name and rights deal for 20 years. Because Farhad's on a boat and can't be reached. That cannot be real. So that's where I agree. This needs to be done. We need a proper board in place. But I do understand that no one's going to put a board in place if he's selling. He's just not going to do it. Because he didn't even do it when he had no intention of selling it, did he? The board wasn't fit for purpose when he had no intention of selling.
Hasn't been fit.
It hasn't been fit for purpose forever.
Many years.
Let's be honest. Since John Moore's left the board, it hasn't been fit for purpose.
What we've said on this channel persistently and consistently, so I'm going to say it again, it's the same answers to the same issues. What we need is an organisation, Everton, right, which can be decisive in its decision making and effectively communicate with its key stakeholders, the fans being the top of that stack. All the things we're talking about, you have to do before you can deliver that. And therefore, and you're right about responsibility, but the real key is accountability.
No, you're right.
Right? Richard Kenyon, use him, bless him, because commercial performance isn't as good as it should be, and it's in his portfolio, isn't it? But if he brings deals to the table, and he has spent months, days, weeks, minutes, doesn't matter what it is, but he's waiting for sign-off from the board, who are just not signing anything off, his job's impossible. It's a bit like Thelwell coming forward with a player deal, and the board have to sign it off, and they just don't. Time waits for nobody.
Yeah.
So all the improvements which our football club thinks a new owner might bring above and beyond just cash, like better experience, more decisive decision making, all those sorts of things, lots of those we can do whether the ownership changes or not. Right? And that needs third-party help and guidance. You have to bring people in.
Actually, you're right. I just want to watch footy and can't be arsed with it. No, you're absolutely spot on.
You're absolutely
on.
right.
Benny says
That's all I was basically saying before.
No, you're right.
That's all I want to do.
100% right. So, Benny says Toffee TV's as close as it gets to understanding what's going on at Everton Football Club. Nobody talks to us apart from Deitch. And he's right. Freaky streak afternoon, chaps. Maybe that fire sale will begin. No, there's no fire sale, mate. It's not even. There was never a fire sale, and there won't be one. It's not happening. It's nonsense. Business as usual. Everton will continue to play it trade. We're selling Onana tomorrow. It'll go through over the weekend, and they will move on the 3 deals they've got in the pipeline. They will move forward on
some of those deals which are done subject to this.
It seems how it is. So therefore, that's what it's like. So. Don't let anyone give you anything else. It's nonsense, all the other stuff. It's been nonsense. Man United. It's just them where you
They'll pop up again, won't they, now?
We've had them in the comments.
Oh, have they started?
That's it now, he's coming for 20 million and all that. Just let it just... It's difficult because we're all bloody feeling it today, but we've just got to get on.
At least we're live.
Phil, you're on holiday.
Are we?
Right.
No, I'm saying at least we're live.
Go and chill out on holiday, mate, as much as you can. You'd have a nice holiday. Don't let Everton ruin your bleeding holiday, mate, for sure. We've just gotta see what happens. It could be a really strong negotiating tactic in the Friedkin group.
It could be.
Or Farhad. Or Farhad.
It could be a really good show, but that does not.
No, I know.
It still does not stop us talking about why we're in this situation.
Of course it won't.
And I think that's important.
We know why.
He's the man.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
He's the reason.
We could sit here and go, be fine tomorrow.
No, but I can't tell it'll be fine tomorrow.
But that's the problem that I think many at the club sort of seem to that's the thing that goes on in there. Be all right tomorrow. Don't worry about it. Leave it till tomorrow.
I'm not sure.
All the time.
I'm not sure.
That's why I distill it down to we seem comfortable at doing tomorrow what we should have done yesterday. And that's really damning, by the way.
Yeah, we see it all the time. Things like with the kits coming out halfway through July, things like that. It's just like these things, they build up in the fan base. We see it every single day. We see it every day. It builds up and it builds up and it will explode. It's really hard to tell a set of people who've been through all of this multiple times to calm down and let's see what happens. We're all dying one day at a time. We're all getting older one day at a time. Yeah. And we're watching our football club just...
Simon says, what a thing. Amazing. Says the Friedkin group are playing hardball with Farhad Moshiri. I guess they're hoping Moshiri will be the guarantor and cover the 777 loan.
Well, there you go, and that's what I was effectively talking about.
That's what listen, he's caused this, and therefore he should cover this own mess.
It was his money that didn't get spent.
Exactly.
So he's already if I'm doing the negotiation, I argue to Farhad, mate, you've had the benefit. You didn't spend your own money. Yeah. You spent theirs.
Yeah. So I'm sorry, mate. Now you've got to do it. I've said this for a while. Other people are saying it now. Right? Go and piss. Get a dog or anyone else, piss on every goalpost in each corner of the ground. Get a priest, a rabbi, someone, leaders from every faith. Get in there. Fucking put ancient salts all over Goodison. It's the Hadjuk split case. It happened in 2017, and if you look at it when we played them, it's got worse every year since then. So we've got to somehow right this case. Joe,
That's too much.
it
of a
might have been.
simplistic,
It might have
explanation.
been the reason why. Yeah, it might have been. What was that, mate? Sorry.
I said that's too much of a simplistic.
I know, but just go and do it anyway. Go and try everything because something's going on.
Yeah.
Innit? It's not normal.
Should we talk about something else?
No, because we're finished in a minute.
Okay.
So, yeah, listen, well, there's nothing else to talk about. Everton are playing a game of 4 today, so we can switch off a little touch, even for 1%, and watch. We'll be doing a watch-along, live watch-along at 4 o'clock. Everton versus Sligo Rovers. And we can watch Jared... Oh, no, we can't. He's injured.
Got something for Ped.
Okay, cool.
Ped, when we were on last, we were talking about the Onana thing.
Yeah.
About the transfer fee, and hopefully it's going to be more than that, with add-ons and all that sort of stuff. I understand, A, the base fee is more than 50.
Okay.
There are add-ons.
Okay.
And there's a sell-on. So that's good business.
That's good business. Yeah.
Whoever's done that, Thelwell and your mates.
That's good.
That's good, isn't it? So a little bit of light that business as usual, at least, is sort of still going in the right direction.
Yeah.
Just need Dom to get off the fence and
Seriously?
we'll reduce a bit more uncertainty, won't we?
We've just got to ride it out, which is it's devastating, of course it is, for the simple reason that we want to feel like we're pets, right? We have been a bit more chilled in the last few weeks because we thought we were moving to a better place.
We have. And we talked during those weeks about how perception changes quickly, as in for the good. Now it's changing quickly, as in for the bad. But that means, in theory, it can change quickly back the other way again, can't it? Let's see.
We'll see. Carl said, I'd love John Textor to step in. He's a fighter and passionate. Apparently he's having a few issues in the United States at the minute. So, maybe not. James, if you're a season ticket holder or a member, Everton are beaming it live. I can't confirm or deny if it'll be on anywhere else. I'm sure it will. But we'll be watching it through, obviously,
YouTube,
the live stream off Everton. Because we're obviously season ticket holders, so we'll be able to log in and watch it. So I'm quite sure other people will know where it's on and put it out there. Yeah, so listen, it's not a great day to be an Evertonian, but we're getting a lot of this, aren't we, of late? I don't know. Dave Bishop says, guys, is it possible that Mashiri's found a better deal for himself and has pulled out the Friedkin one? I couldn't say yes or how would I know? Do you know what I mean? But that's not happening at the moment, is it? We'll see. But it's on, as far as I'm concerned, it's all on Farhad Moshiri, this, and it is mess to correct, and he needs to correct it right now, like ASAP. Because, don't forget he did come out and say these are the correct partners when he agreed with 777, the deal. So this is on him. Other debt is there. You need that. You get that from building a football ground, a huge multi-million pound stadium that value will be 1 billion when it's completed, according to.
If you were building it now, that's what it would cost. Absolutely,
right?
Yeah,
and you're getting that. Whoever takes it over. Other debt associated with Everton, it's happened, and that's all stuff John's been banging about back when he was on Business Matters and everything else, and he's been saying it consistently. Everything's got to go up. Commercial deals aren't good enough. He's been saying it lots. We pay players too much money. That needs dragging down. All of that stuff puts your football club in a better position. There's other debts that are there. This debt that he's put on isn't just a monetary debt, is it? Because it's attached to complications, i.e. with law cases because of what 777 were. He should have pulled the plug on that deal months and months and months ago, and he didn't. This is on him now. And if all that's happened here is the Friedkin group have walked away because ACAP, who own the debt now, won't reduce what they, won't reduce the debt or whatever, that's on Farhad Moshiri. That's his mess to fix. And if he really does care about the football club, and I don't know whether he does, and people will say, no, he doesn't, I don't know, right? But if he's got any integrity about our football club, then he will sort this mess out with these people, and he'll become the guarantor, and he'll have to take it. If it ends up that they need 200 million paying back, he should foot the bill, him and his mate. Because it's not fair on Everton Football Club, and it's not fair on us, the fans, who are dragged through this and have been consistently dragged through the bleeding mill since that Southampton game. And it's not fair on people at the football club who are trying to just do their job without any direction from above as well, if we're being perfectly honest. And it's not fair on Sean Dyche, who's trying to do his job. Whether you like him or you don't like him, the fella is trying to just get on with his job. Kevin Thelwell, the fella's trying to get on with his job and put Everton in a better place. None of this is fair because of one man's decision. And that one man can change this, and he needs to do it ASAP, because this has gone on long enough. It's gone on long enough.
It's a long speech.
It was. We'll be on more than a game in 9 minutes. I'm sure this will pop up on there, because there might be some United fans on there giving it the big one about buying Jarrad Brandway for 11 quid or whatever they think their perception is. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thanks for everybody who's joined us and commented. Like I said, we'll be doing a live watch along for Sligo v Everton at 4 o'clock today, but I'd love to see you all over on more than a game in just 8 minutes time. Now, there's a magic link there, I think, Ned? Yeah, the links don't have to do anything.
Just leave it.
Just leave it. Get yourself a drink. And
see you there.
We'll see you in a few minutes. Take it easy.